Gives you a long time to think about things. And when these guys asked me if I would speak, I did a lot of thinking the last 10 days what I really want to say. And what I want to say is, nobody thought we were going to be here. You know, of all the things that we have in common as people, I think the biggest one is this town. This is where we're from. This is where we grew up. And as I've traveled the state the last 20-some years, the one thing that I've found is that this town is special. It has a quality that a lot of small towns don't have. When you go someplace and you say you're from Malta, almost without a question, someone will say, do you know somebody? Do you know this guy? Do you know this lady? It doesn't happen from Wolf Point. It doesn't happen if you're from Thompson Falls. It doesn't happen from almost any other small town in this state. And it's funny that way. And when you're me and you brag about being here, from here, it's even more special. And you know, Philip and I talked about this last year, that this town has a quality. And it does. You know. So, to me, I think that's the biggest bond we have. So now let's talk about, you know, I gotta look back here, put these back on. Two choices. So, now we can talk about this class a little bit. And the one thing about this class is, to me, I think our history starts in junior high. And maybe that's not to bias you Catholics, who I did spend 6 years with myself. But there was an attitude that began then, and I'm going to give you the example. This is from our junior high annual. And it says, this is us up here in this class of 82. And it says, Malta Junior High's 8th grade class included everything from banshees to sweat hogs. And then down here, for the class of 82, it says, the hope of 1982. Full of pep and potential will lead the way next year. So, now, and I should say, we all know who wrote this was Kent Johnstead. And
I told him to be our speaker, by the way.
I'm going to tell you that
and just keep an eye?
we should have invited Kent.
Yep.
And he could have set up a little booth someplace.
I'm gonna go check on
And he could charge $5 for a noogie and $50 for a snuggie, and he'd go home with a lot of money. I mean, can you just see John Smith with his foot on his But the thing that bothers me about that, though, is that we're already kind of pre-labeled as really not going to be achievers. There's not a lot of hope for these guys. 80's a good class. And in Malta, in the small towns, you're kind of judged by how good you are athletically. That class had a lot of great athletes. I thought we did. I think we all thought that. But the one thing that they did that we didn't, and you know, I know a lot of people in A2, good people. They're cooking for us today. But they were a biggest bunch of brown nosers.
I take exception to that.
I mean, who here who was a varsity letterman will not say they were brown nosers? Anybody? And I'm not positive, but I heard a rumor that Glenn Flatt didn't wash his car, walk his dog, mow his yard, shove his walk for 4 years. And that's just what I heard. But I think another thing about all this is, while there are a few people who could be construed as true middle class, the majority of us aren't that way. We grew up a little lower than middle, a little upper than lower. And I think that's another bond that we have. And I think that's one of the reasons why when they weren't giving us our just due, we didn't know any better. You know, we started working when we were young, and it's all we knew. All we knew is that we had to do it ourselves, and no one was going to do it for us. And I don't think that, it wasn't that the faculty and staff was rooting against us, or they didn't, you know, hope we couldn't. I just think they gave up. I don't think that they just went, well, you know, these guys, let's put our resources into 82. Let's give them it, you know, these guys are going to be okay, but, you know, there's not a lot here. And I believe that. I believe they let us walk through. It wasn't that, like I said, they didn't hope. They just didn't think it was going to happen. You know, they didn't think that very many of us were going to go to college once us graduate. I don't think they thought that there's going to be any postgraduate degrees in here. I don't think they thought that people were going to own their own businesses and run their own businesses. I don't think they thought we're going to marry hot women or funky men. I don't. You know, and it's, again, it's not that they were rooting against us. You know. And Jim and I talked about this at the 20, didn't we, Jim, at the memorial? But this class has got a ton of successful people. And I'm not talking just monetarily. I'm talking about the way we've led our lives. You know, the people we put on the planet, that we always continue to treat each other the way we want to be treated. And biased I am, I think that makes us a little more special than most. You know, there's a lot of people in this room who have had more than their share of adversity. And they handle it, and they go forward, and they don't bitch, they don't moan, and they don't say, woe is me. They just keep going, because that's what we've always done as a class. That's what we do as people, and that's what we'll continue to do after today. You know? And I keep in touch with a lot of people, and it's lucky for me that I can do that. And when I'm talking to somebody else who might ask about one of you, and I'll say, he's doing great. They're happy that you're doing great. You know, if something sad happens, they're genuinely sad that anybody in this room is having anything bad happen. It's not anything but heartfelt. Maybe, again, I'm biased. Other classes do that. I don't know. But I have an opinion, and I'm never afraid to share it. And when I talked about Malta at the beginning of this, I did it because, as I said, Malta is special, and it's unique, and it has a quality, and I don't think any other class reflects that better than ours. And I think that we've showed that with the great turnouts at every reunion we've had. I mean, 38 or 39 or however many, out of 62, 30 years later. It's pretty remarkable when you talk to other people. And even from the first one, you know, when you talk to other people and they talk about their 10-year reunion and they all go, oh, you know, the 10 years is no fun because everybody's so concerned about how much money they make. And that's all it is, it's a big contest. And I'm going, I guess you didn't come to ours. Because it wasn't. It was a party just like 10 years ago and just like this weekend. No one's ever done that. You know, maybe because we don't make enough money. I am an extremely lucky man. I was one of 6 people to carry Jim's mom to her final spot. And that's the proudest I've ever been, Jimmy. You know, I've been the best man 3 times, and all 3 of them I graduated with. This was fun. This was a treat for me, because you guys all matter, and you always will. So, it's lucky to be walking across that gym floor 30 years ago with all of you. And I'm glad that we made it this far with so few losses. That's something that we all should be thankful for. And again, I think we're pretty fortunate because it's not going to keep happening that way. Time doesn't lose to anybody. Time is undefeated. So treasure the weekend. So I want everybody to continue to have the success in the life that they have. Bless all of you. Safe journeys. Thank you very much.